Hi, Leo Sun and Rising. Welcome to your April 2024 Astro Update. It's Rena here. When I did my sun signs reading for Sagittarius, I was remarking on how great of a month April can be for Sagittarius because the Aries placements trine us. Well, the same thing applies to Leo people. The trine is the easiest aspect, meaning that whatever two entities are in alignment this way, it can create a lot of cooperative energy. So it makes it easier for things to manifest, in other words. So there is going to be a Mercury retrograde beginning on the first of the month, so we do have to keep that in mind. But in general, when I look at the month of April for you, Leo, there is a strong emphasis on this area of expansion, which is, by the way, Sagittarius's domain, the ninth house, where you are going to have those Aries triggers. And then in Taurus, it's a 10th house. So these two areas of life are quite different in terms of, like, for instance, the ninth house is a mental house along with the opposite third house, but it's a higher mind. And it's also a fire house because Sagittarius rules it, and Jupiter is Sagittarius's ruler. So when we look at the 10th house, we're talking about earth energy. Taurus is a ruler of the 10th. I said Taurus is a ruler. Taurus is a ruler of your 10th house, but in astrology, Capricorn, another earth sign, is the universal, the template. And that is the ruler of the 10th in astrology. But you're going to, you have it in Earth as well. So it's going to be still manifesting in this very grounded, practical way. And not just practical, but actually, gosh, I can't even think of the word that I want to use, but something that is capable of actually manifesting in the material world. Because the reason I say this is, let's say you have Neptune transiting the 10th house. That can make you very idealistic. It can make you very able to imagine your dream career, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to manifest these things because of the nature of what Neptune represents. It can be an illusion. It can be impractical, things like that. Well, that is not the case when you have Taurus as your 10th house, because it's like, show me the money, show me the proof that this is going to happen. And you have so much going on in Taurus as it is. Forget about this time of year when the Taurus personal planets start to come in, and the sun and all of that good stuff. But we have Jupiter in Taurus. We have Uranus in Taurus. So those two planets represent freedom. But let me just start at the beginning because I don't want to get ahead of myself. On the first of the month, like I said, Mercury goes retrograde. This is going to be at 27 degrees of Aries in that ninth house. So one of the things that could be happening for some Leo people is that you want to travel. I have a feeling that travel is connected with work more than anything else, more than for pleasure, although knowing my lions, you guys can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can have pleasure and work, and that's not a problem for you. So I just feel that the reason I feel that this is a thing is because you have Jupiter in the 10th. in Taurus, and that means that since that's a career sector and Jupiter rules the ninth, it could mean that you're a digital nomad, especially since Uranus governs technology. But anyway, something may fall through I was going to say fall through the cracks, but some kind of plans may fall through. Travel plans, because Mercury goes retrograde on the 1st, and even the shadow period begins right after the astrological new year. So in the second half, or the last third of March even, there may be some snafu that occurs that causes you to have to postpone some travel plans. Maybe you can't find your passport, or there's some kind of like issue with receiving one. Who knows? But just that's the area it's going to be. If you are going to university, or even if you try to apply to teach at a university, that may be screwed up somehow. On the 4th of the month, Venus goes into this area. So that can help to harmonize the situation, and it can also help with money. So if you throw some money at it, because Venus can be money, and maybe you need to invest money in some kind of plans that you have to be able to make it happen. So if you were counting on financial aid, this could be the time that you get it, but it could be the time that somehow you're able to fund it yourself. Venus in the 9th house can be love with a foreigner, whether they have come to your country to live, or you have visited them in their country. Maybe you've been online and you haven't even met them in person. But I do think that this may be somebody from your past, because we're in the middle of a Mercury retrograde and you can hear from people from your past. On the 8th, we have a solar eclipse at 19 degrees of Aries in this house. So look at what I'm just saying here. The first three transits are in that 9th house in Aries. So I'm really, telling you that this is a big deal this month. And so this can indicate that this area of life is shaking up for you. I do feel that travel is something that Leos are really experiencing in one way or the other. Now, the 9th house can be spiritual. So it's very possible that there are some Leo, I hope I didn't say Aries people, but Leo people that are really kind of jump-starting some kind of spiritual type of study, business, what have you. Like yoga teacher training. I always use that as an example because it seems more and more common for people to, do their training someplace that is really exotic, where they can have a kind of a vacation, but plus they can really do a concentrated teacher training where it only takes a month versus 6 months. And, you can get a vacation out of it, but I do think that you have to look at whether or not it's going to be too much in too short a time. That doesn't mean that it's automatically a good thing to just kind of cram everything in 1 month. But regardless, even some of you may say, I'm going to India to study yoga, classic yoga, and you're going to be gone more than 1 month. You're going to be gone for a long time because you have Chiron in this sector as well. And the Chiron is the wounded healer. And so the subject or concept of healing may be very appealing to you as it pertains to combining it with, like a spiritual discipline or what have you. I think that this is so expansive because the ninth house is already expansive and the solar eclipse is like a powerful new moon. You are ruled by the sun, Leo, so this is your jam to have a solar eclipse. And that sun power, as it pertains to the ninth house, how will you expand in this springtime in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern? By the way, speaking of the southern hemisphere, I've been eating some wonderful grapes from the southern hemisphere. So thank you, southern hemisphere, from South America. I mean, thank you. The grapes that normally we don't have up here, or that I don't taste. I'm talking about yellow grapes. I know this is like totally random, but oh well. So on the 19th, the sun goes into Taurus. So now we're getting into that career energy. And the very next day, after the sun goes into Taurus, which I didn't really wrap my brain around yesterday when I started doing these readings, but that makes it that much more spectacular because to me, it's almost like the switch is flipped, where it's like we have this very feisty energy and then we get grounded in the second half of the month after that eclipse. And after the sun, when the sun goes into Taurus, then on the 20th, we have a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction at 21 degrees of Taurus. So this is a very important serendipitous situation as it pertains to your career matters, Leo. I'm a strange type of astrologer because I'm always a little bit hesitant to hype things simply because, how can you be sure that something will transpire in the way that you say it will? But on the other hand, it's fun to imagine these things. So this could be Jupiter is about expansion. It's about growth. It's about luck, being at the right place at the right time. Uranus is about surprises, out of the blue experiences. So when you combine these two, this is like the lottery winner. This is like, maybe if this happens in the fifth house for somebody, this is like love at first sight. But in terms of you, Leo, in that 10th house, it could be a lucky break that you weren't even expecting. Sometimes, we fantasize about a particular scenario materializing. And sometimes those fantasies might be a little bit far-fetched, but we still enjoy them. But this could be something that you never even dreamed of that occurs. And it has to do with this area that is your work, that is when I say work, I should say career, but it can be your reputation. So it can be, and I'm tailoring this for Leo people. Let's say you're in show business. This could be the lucky break. This could be the thing that you get offered this part and then you become very successful. The theater, the actor in the theater who has somebody from Hollywood, kind of like an agent, kind of seeing if there's any talent on the stage and picking you. Those kinds of things. And I don't even know if it works like that anymore, but I'm imagining that there still are those situations that are very seemingly random, but really at a higher level, not random. So just, keep your eyes peeled for something around the 20th occurring. And actually, that's not the only date when these two planets will be in conjunction. It's just that that's how close it gets. But it'll be close enough on other dates surrounding this date of the 20th. On the 23rd, we have a full moon at 4 degrees of Scorpio. And this is going to be in the opposite house, which is the fourth house of home and family. So this is a few days later. So if there is some kind of maybe career, like good news on the career front for you, you may be like, okay, I have to vacate this house. I have to sell this house because I'm going to be moving overseas for my work. And, you have had triggers to these two areas the past couple of years that they're done, the eclipses are done in the signs of Taurus and Leo. But with that conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, it's almost reminiscent of an eclipse in a way. And then just a few days later, that full moon in your home sector. This can also affect the way that you think about your childhood. The full moon can bring something up for you, and the fourth house is the home front, but it's also the house of the past, of childhood. So being in Scorpio, it can be a lot of shadow work based on your childhood, and it can be quite healing, albeit emotional. On the 25th, Mercury goes direct at 16 degrees of Aries. And that ninth house becomes more forward moving from this time onward. And so that could be like if you do have any kind of paperwork, passports, what have you, this could get resolved at this time. On the 29th, Venus goes into Taurus, so Venus goes into that 10th house of career. That's very good for appealing to people in positions of authority, people who can help you. They will want to help you. They will see you as someone who is magnetic, irresistible, and they want to help you. And this can also be getting a raise, because Venus can be money. On the 30th, Mars goes into Aries. So now yet another planet has gone into that ninth house. This can be wanderlust. Mars is very physical, and the ninth house is this geographical expansion. And you may be really, if you haven't left on a trip yet, you may be like, please, I have to get out of here. This could be on the mental level, though. I mean, you could be studying something very vigorously, putting a lot of effort into something that has a spiritual theme to it. You could be, into some kind of publishing effort. Ninth house can be publishing, and that can be a very active time for you as well. So this is a jam-packed month, Leo. I hope that you're anticipating this month of April eagerly. If you're listening in the earlier part of March, we still haven't gone through the eclipse in Libra yet, so you have that to look forward to. So this is eclipse season, anything can happen. And it's a time of great change, but it's also means that it kind of injects new energy into your life. If you've been feeling like things have been either stagnant or just a little bit slower than normal, this will definitely speed things up, especially when Mercury goes direct. Okay, this is what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated, and if you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings, which are a package deal called my Deep Dive Reading, and I have a couple of other package deals, including one with the tarot, but this particular one is an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months, using your specific chart, because this is a general reading, for a special price. And and you can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for listening. Bye.